Where I start and Woody ends and where Woody starts and I end is a murky line. And we kind of have a comedic jive. And I remember going into this where he, was like, I think we need to look for some funny in here. And I'd be like, And he'd be like, see, like that. How you and I work, McConaughey, is I hit you the ball, you hit it back. I hit you the ball, you hit it back. But now I'm like hitting you the ball and you're just standing there and letting it go by and sit still at the bottom of the fence and just staring at me. What the f? And I was like,
they say life doesn't hand you scripts, it hands you moments. And for Matthew McConaughey, those moments turned into a career that defined Hollywood cool. From a random night at a Texas bar that changed his life forever, to the roles that broke him, remade him, and made him eternal. But what happens when fame becomes a cage, and the only way forward is to walk away from everything? Stay tuned, because this ride from Dazed and Confused to Interstellar will remind you why McConaughey isn't just an actor, he's a philosophy of life itself. Alright. 1. The beginning.
He gave me the confidence to decide that I wanted to do that. Then that led to the confidence to call my dad and tell him I wanted to change my course schedule, which I didn't think was going to go well. That went splendidly well. And my dad told me that night, don't half-ass it if that's what you're going to do. And went to film school. Learned a little bit, but then in that summer, between 92 and 93, which was between my junior and senior year, when I went to the right bar at the right time and met the right guy, Don Phillips, who then gave me a chance to read for the part of Wooderson in Dazed and Confused. Ended up getting that part, and 3 lines turned into 3 weeks' work.
Before Hollywood ever knew his name, Matthew was just another college student with big dreams and a bigger sense of wonder. One night, in the summer of 1992, fate stepped in. He met casting director Don Phillips in a bar, a conversation that would give birth to his first role in Dazed and Confused. What began as just 3 lines became 3 weeks of work, and the start of his legend. That's where alright was born, a line that wasn't scripted but felt destined. And here's the thing. He didn't just say those words, he stamped his identity onto cinema. That part hits me every time. Imagine creating your signature line before the world even knew your name. 2. Hollywood's golden boy.
Drop the case. No, I can't. I won't, man. I'm not gonna quit. I quit now and all this for nothing, no.
I get this camera test.
Matthew's charm wasn't just about looks, it was about soul. His breakout in A Time to Kill showed a depth no one expected. That emotional courtroom scene, where he delivers the line, "Now imagine she's white," wasn't just acting. It was McConaughey channeling every ounce of pain, truth, and humanity he had. That performance turned him from a supporting player into a Hollywood star. But with fame came typecasting, and soon, the man known for grit and emotion was stuck in a cycle of romantic comedies. He didn't reinvent his image. 3. The rom-com rut.
Can we enjoy that happening in different ways? And that's what a good, successful rom-com does, and I was fortunate to be a part of a few. I really enjoyed making those. Never have I poo-pawed the romantic comedies. But what I was needing and looking for at that time in my life, while I had just met the woman that I love, while she was now pregnant.
From How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days to Failure to Launch, McConaughey owned the box office. But behind the scenes, he was unsatisfied. As he said himself, those roles were fun, but not vital. Hollywood wanted him shirtless, smiling, and charming, but not challenging. So he did something few actors ever dare. He walked away. No scripts. No offers. Nothing for nearly 2 years. To many, it looked like career suicide. To Matthew, it was necessary silence, a reset to rediscover who he really was. Would you have had the courage to do that? To give up millions just to protect your purpose? 4. The McConaughey.
Found it with me living in it, possessions, 9/10 of the law.
You got crosses in your heels.
Nails, shaped like crosses.
What for?
Ward off evil spirits.
Then came The Lincoln Lawyer, Mud, and Killer Joe. Each role was raw, dangerous, unpredictable. He stopped playing the lover and started playing the fighter. These films weren't just comebacks, they were rebirths. Critics called it the McConaughey. But Matthew didn't see it as a comeback. It was alignment. He was finally choosing roles that matched his truth. 5. Dallas Buyers Club.
I don't use drugs.
We didn't test your blood for drugs.
I'm good. Ain't none of y'all's business either.
That's right. You've tested positive for HIV. which is the virus that causes AIDS.
You fucking kidding me?
When I talk about every character has a monologue.
In 2013, he took on Ron Woodroof, a desperate man fighting for his life against AIDS and the system itself. For this role, McConaughey lost over 40 pounds and gave every drop of himself to the performance. It earned him an Oscar, but more importantly, it proved something, that Matthew wasn't just a star. He was a storyteller willing to suffer for truth. He described Ron as a coyote, a man so hungry to survive he'd chew off his own leg. 6. True Detective.
Off the murder manuals. Some folks enjoy community, the common good.
Yeah, well, if the common good's got to make up fairy tales, then it's not good for anybody.
You know what I discovered? Is that my faith was strong. It was very easy for me to inhabit Rustin Cole's head and heart and spirit, which, I don't know, I don't think belief in.
Then came Rust Cole. In HBO's True Detective, McConaughey delivered one of television's greatest performances. His haunting monologues about time, faith, and existence turned a detective story into a philosophical journey. He said it was easy to turn his back on faith, because his own was so strong, proof that true belief doesn't fear exploration. 7. Interstellar.
Car. She crashed it. She's okay though. Hey, Dad. Look at this. Your grandpa. His name's Jesse.
I remember we shot those a Monday morning, and it was the first scene up.
Christopher Nolan's Interstellar gave McConaughey his most emotional scene ever. The moment Cooper watches decades of messages from his children, Matthew said that first take was pure reaction, no acting, because he imagined missing his own family. That's the take Nolan used. That scene didn't just make audiences cry, it reminded us that McConaughey's power lies not in pretending, but in feeling. 8. Legacy.
Kids who are stranded. Is there anybody in the area that can pick them up? Is there anybody that can go and pick these kids up?
And that's one thing Paul's so good at.
In the interview's closing, Matthew reflects on how his father passed away just 5 days into filming Dazed and Confused. He never got to see his son's success, but he saw him begin. For Matthew, that overlap between his father's ending and his beginning is what he calls grace, and maybe that's the secret to his story, never chasing fame, but finding meaning, because for Matthew McConaughey, every role, every risk, every line whispered under his breath, was never about being seen. It was about seeing life in its purest form. Matthew McConaughey didn't just live his career, he authored it. From rom-com heartthrob to Oscar-winning philosopher, his journey proves that courage isn't about climbing higher, it's about standing still until you find truth. Would you have walked away from fame to find yourself? Let me know below, because that's where greatness really begins. If this breakdown inspired you, hit that subscribe button and join us for more cinematic journeys like this one.